Don't think I'm ready for you. Don't think you're ready for me either. I know you've been with her too long. It's okay, I'm just saying. What if she told you that she still likes you and she wants you to come back? Would you go and pretend like I'm nothing, although you want her, want her, want her? I need you back, back, back. 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 Tryna figure who I am, and I want us both to understand. No misunderstandings, things left unsaid. No, I don't, no, I don't, no, I don't. What if she told you that she still likes you and she wants you to come back? Would you go and pretend like I'm nothing, although you want her, want her, want her? I need you back, back, back. 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 You can have your cake and eat it too. If you choose that you will lose me too. Can go around and be scared of losing you when you love someone else. What if she told you that she still likes you and she wants you to come back? Would you go and pretend like I'm nothing, although you want her, want her, want her? I need you back, back, back. I need you back, back, back. I need you back, back, back. I need you back, back, back.
Hello, everybody. Good morning. Thank you for tuning in with me, having some duality this morning, talking about root chakra. That's going to be the topic on today, talking about grounding and what are chakras and how do we root ourselves and ground ourselves. So, root chakra, which is the beautiful bowl that I have right here, it's tuned to that frequency so that we can be connected with the earth and feel stable and safe to be ourselves and to thrive in that space. So chakras are a ancient energy system. So every origin has many different systems, whether science or energetic or both. Science and energy are one of the same things, and spirituality and science are two things that aren't really opposing, but they complement each other, and that's something I feel like should get talked about more. So, chakra system. The chakra system the origin comes from South Asia, comes from India, and it can be traced back to 1500 BC to I believe 500 BC, like very, very ancient in that sense of being a system and how it goes about it. There are 7 major chakras, and it starts from the base of our spine up to the top of our head. So hey Lori, good morning. And the chakras being stacked right on top of each other. So if you were to look at yourself like straight on, there's going to be root chakra at the base of our spine, sacral chakra above that, and our reproductive organs, our solar plexus kind of in between, like right above our belly button, and right under our ribs. Then we have our heart chakra right in the center of our chest, throat chakra, third eye chakra, and crown chakra right above our head and the top of our head. So each of these chakras we're going to go into for the next 7 weeks. We're going to be talking about chakras. And this week is going to be root chakra. So root chakra, the color is red. The energy of it is I am, I know, and everything comes from that space. So the above and the below, the above would be the crown, the below would be the root. The root is what brings us to our origins. It's literally everything that we've come from. Our root chakra is the first chakra that develops as a child because it's in our survival instincts. So the first chakra is the root, and then the second chakra that will get developed will be the sacral and the solar plexus, and that's kind of from there, and root chakra is all about survival as well as safety and stability. So it's like, what do you feel safe about? What is your fight or flight? What makes you feel afraid or, makes you feel that sense of safety within yourself that's not outside of you. We could have these things that are outside of us that make us feel safe, but they're just a reminder of what makes us feel safe on the inside, as well as what doesn't make us feel safe. These different things, and just as everything else is a reflection of what's going on in our internal world, everything on our external world is just always going to be reminders of what's happening on the inside. So with root chakra, it's really important that we have and maintain that balance if we want to function in this 3-dimensional plane at all, since it's what ties us to here. You can be thriving in your heart chakra, your crown chakra, throat chakra, third eye chakra, but if you don't have your root chakra locked in and grounded, you're kind of going to be floating in the air. I could personally tell you from experience, I feel like I lived 25 years of my life without having and integrating my root chakra into my reality to the depths that I could. And that's why Spirit had gifted me this bowl and the other bowls that had came to the people that they needed to, and kind of just been the conduit and director of them. And we all got handed a bowl that we were the least comfortable with. So in that, it's been a journey, and it'll continue to be a journey of confronting the things that we're least confident in, and the things that the aspects, the energy, the chakras that we have struggled with most of our lives, and to be able to embody them and transmute that so that it not only affects ourselves, we're not only healing ourselves and our ancestral lineage that has been deceased, but also the living and everybody that we're around. So every person that you come in contact with, and that applies to people who also aren't in the council of bowls, it's like we all have that capability to affect others, and it's up to us to do that in a positive or a negative light. Everybody that you interact with is gonna feel something from you, and in that we can push forward with our growth within ourselves and have that radiate, or the opposite of that, like in lieu of that, the self-pity or the kind of spiraling that we can do sometimes. And it's not to feel guilty that when that happens, it's an ebb and flow, and like until we find that balance, we can have that exist. And I just really strongly recommend that when you're feeling like you're not yourself, or you're feeling like you don't know what is yours or someone else's, really take that time to go inward and sit with yourself, and in all aspects, whether it's just not hanging out with people anymore as much, or not doing things that you don't want to do, or maybe not being with any partners for a little while, and just kind of understanding what your own energy is like and feels like, so that you can distinguish and discern what is in your energy and what you don't want to radiate in your field and in your temple, in your kingdom. So yeah, that's it applies. The chakras are just like energy. It's just an energy system, not just, but it's an energy system that has been utilized, and it's kind of easier to explain than other ones as well. And it's something that I personally always really gravitated towards. Anything that comes from kind of Sanskrit, Hindu, India, like I have this deep reverence for, and has always resonated. So with chakras kind of came into my life when I got aware of that system was a little bit before I learned Reiki 1. I was kind of presented what that is, and like did my best to try to learn each and every one of them. Naturally, the first day I heard of them, that's not grounded. You can't do that. Grounded energy is earthly energy, earthbound energy, which comes from stability consistently. Like you could think of, if you're into astrology, which is another energy medium, if you think of Capricorn, Virgo, and Taurus, you think of root chakra, you think of someone who's going to make a stable plan and make it tangible on how you can reach the next thing. Instead of being like, I'm going to learn everything right now. It's like, all right, well, let me focus on this for an hour, or let me focus on this for a day, and then I'll focus on the next thing. So when we have signs of our root chakra being imbalanced is when we have a lot of anxiety and what appears to also be like depression, and it could look like sleeping a lot. It could look like not feeling good, not taking care of oneself, and basic needs. Root chakra is all about basic needs and finding that balance between your humanity and your spirit. That's the base of it, and to get to a space where not only when you're balancing your root chakra and you're optimizing it, right? That could look like you're not just surviving, but you're thriving. You're taking that time to push forward and thrive. So once we realize that, wow, like I've been surviving for a long time, and when we're surviving, it's usually because we don't feel safe, like to thrive or to be ourselves all facets of ourselves, everything that makes us us. But when we find that within ourselves by giving ourselves the space to feel safe, to acknowledge when we are uncomfortable, when we are comfortable, and why we're comfortable in areas and not comfortable in other areas. And are these things long lasting, or are they fleeting? Because we don't want anything that's fleeting. You see, fleeting isn't root chakra. Foundations are root chakra. When you realize that you're a part of the mix in the cement that lays down the groundwork for you to build a house, a home, an empire on, that is root chakra. Not the, temporary stay or the I'm going to be here and I'm going to be there. Like, that could be okay and that could be healthy in other places, in other chakras. But root chakra, that is going to be the place you can always return to, whether that's within yourself or whether that is within other places that you experience. So, with talking about root chakra, I decided I wanted to play the root chakra bowl a little bit. So for anybody who is tuned in and listening now, I invite you to close your eyes and take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Continuing to breathe in that way, in through your nose and out through your mouth. Grounding into the space that you're in. Bringing awareness to whatever part of your body has contact with the floor, with the ground. And breathing roots into that area. Allowing yourself to release the tension in your shoulders, in your jaw, and wherever you may be feeling any tension or any forms of discomfort, any pain. And just allow yourself to continue to breathe deep, filling up your lungs with all of the fresh air around you, and releasing what no longer serves you. And if it feels good, repeating after me. I am safe. I am protected. I trust myself. I am grounded and I am present. And paying attention to what comes up for us when we tune into that part of our body, to the base of our spine, to our hips. What is it that tunes into us? Like, what are we feeling? What comforts and discomforts come up for us in that space? And not judging them, but just like bringing awareness to it, just getting in tune with these different parts of our bodies. Each chakra is correlated with different physical parts of our bodies for us to bridge together the three-dimensional and the spirit, to address the spirit and the science of our being. And when we use these bowls, they're made from crystal quartz, and quartz is programmable. And everything that we do with any kind of crystal or anything in general, we should be doing it with intention and putting purpose in what we're doing. Because we could have good intention, but if we don't have purpose in what we're doing, then it could fall short. And we need to make sure that we're being mindful of that and moving with integrity. And moving with integrity by knowing why we want to do what we're trying to do, right? So making our subconscious conscious, because if we don't make our subconscious conscious, then it rules our life. Shout out to Carl Jung. Shout out to anybody that's taken their time and dedicated their life to studying the subconscious, because it is work that could not be measured in the tangible world, and that anybody who works in the shadow realm, that I like to call it, also shout out to Carl Jung, or the subconscious, or the underworld, that I like to call it as well. And anybody that's working and really putting a lot of focus and time into that area deserves to also get acknowledged and have honor and respect for the work that gets done in the ethers. We give a lot of credit to people that do things in front of our face, but some people do things and they're not even looking for the credit. And for those people, I want to give credit to, because it takes a lot to detach from the outcome or the feedback. Because most things we do in human nature, we do things to get feedback. Like we do, okay, I'm going to do this because this person's going to like me. I'm going to do this because I'm going to receive a reward, right? We create these different rewards systems and ways. And in that has become our survival. That has come from our root chakra desire to feel safe and secure. So these coping mechanisms that really can be outdated and can be ruled out by taking the time to express and show love to ourselves, not expecting anything else from anyone else, any feedback, good or bad, to be in a space where you don't need to receive feedback, whether good or bad, especially good, is a space that you want to be. Like that's a really stable space. That's a really integral space to move in, because you're not doing things for other people. You're doing it because you're listening. You're doing it because you're feeling. You're doing it because you are becoming closer to source. You're becoming closer to your purpose. And if you ask me, I believe each chakra and each system and anything in any way you twist it can go back to purpose. And that's how I feel. And I don't know if anything's gonna really change that, because purpose. That is my focus, my intention, and what I'm going to always talk about in every episode. But as far as root chakra, I feel like it's that like your purpose is inside of your root chakra, and each one of your other chakras are to like get it out of you, the second chakra to create it, and the third chakra to believe in it, the heart chakra to expand in it, the throat chakra to express it, the third eye chakra to learn, thrive, and like have bring more insight and intuition into it and connect with spirit in that way, and crown chakra to connect with spirit, like crown chakra to give it back to source. It's like you understand the source that you've been given, the purpose you've been given in your root. But you have to dive deep into yourself to find it and pay attention, because each person has a purpose. Every single person has a purpose. In my opinion, in my belief system, I believe that every single thing in our reality has a purpose. And it's up to you to figure that out. Can people hold space to get you to there? Yes, that's possible. But you have to be willing to do the work. You need to do it. No one could do it for you. No one's going to look at you and just be like, hey, boom, this is your purpose. And also, as intuitives and as spirit workers, like, we have to respect, like, I could look at you and know your purpose, but I'm not allowed to tell you that. Like, that's between you and spirit unraveling that. As a person who can receive spirit and who can read spirit, you know, people like us, we're not supposed to tell you everything. It's not fair for us to do that, because now we're committing to you, and in the sense of doing more of that work, where it's really just about creating the safe space for you to figure it out, you know. And I know it's frustrating at times, and I know there's times that I've gone to people and subconsciously may have had the thought that I was gonna have a clearer idea of like what it is for me to do next, but instead I'll walk away with the tools to figure it out myself. And that's the best thing that you can bless someone with, is the opportunity for them to do it themselves. So just honoring that, you know, honoring that purpose, honoring your origins, honoring your ancestors before you get into anything with anyone. It's like, you know, whatever your belief system is, whether you're in Christianity and Judaism, Muslim belief systems, shamanic belief systems, Yoruba, any kind of tradition that you practice in, you practice that, and you give homage and faith and energy to these either deity, God, or deities, and in whichever resonates with you. But what about your ancestors and your direct lineage? You know, to know the medicine that you came to this earth with, to know what your parents' parents were like, you know, what gifts they had, what gifts that you were given. The same way we have genetics, right? Genetics and ancestral trauma are just two of the same things, on two sides of the same coin. So the same way we can think about these deficiencies and we're like, oh, wow, well, there's cancer or there's this and that. You can look at it like that. You can look at it and be like, oh, wow, you know, well, if you believe that, you know, there's a book that's called The Body Keeps Score. And then there's also Louis L. Hayes that talks about the spiritual meaning, why we have any physical ailment. Now you take that spectrum, and that could be more of like, you can look at it as the negative or the yin in that, right? So it's not that it's bad. It's just the area we need to be like working on in that way and be aware of, so that it doesn't consume us. And then you can look at it in the opposite spectrum of what are the gifts that I was passed down? You know, what was my great grandmother, my bisabuelita like? What did she like to do, or what was she known for doing? And, you know, a lot of times we can find our sacred and spiritual gifts nonetheless, the tools and all of these different things that we need to not only uncover our purpose, but to embrace it, embody it, and work in it in a good way, so that we can do what we were born to do. You know, like, what wakes you up in the morning? If you didn't have anything, and I mean anything, you know, some people have children or sisters or brothers or mothers and fathers that they have to wake up for. They depend on them for whatever reason, whatever circumstances. Or pets or anything. So say you have nothing. Say you're in a blank room. You have absolutely nothing but a piece of red fabric, because we're going to focus in on that root chakra in your subconscious. Now, you wake up, and what wakes you up? What wakes you up? That right there is going to be the pathway to what your purpose is. To know that, you know, I wake up because I think about plants and I want to water my plants, or, you know, I feel like I have this connection with them where they talk to me in this way where I always know what herb to recommend somebody. Or, you know, I wake up and I think about humanity and how much I want to help. Or, you know, I wake up because, and you can tie the exterior thing with the internal thing. You know, that's always something that you should do and you can do. You tie those two things together. So, I wake up because I want to feel like loved and confident within my own being. How could I also help other people to do the same? So within that, you know, discover your roots, discover your origin. And even if for whatever reason, like there's obstacles in that way, say you're adopted, say you have a disconnection for something from some information, or your parents had passed away, or whatever the case is, pray about it. Pray about it. Go directly to source. Like, we forget how powerful we are. We forget that we are divine beings, like dressed as humans. Like, we have essence in us. We are connected. We are just as important. We have access to all of this information, but are you going to give yourself that access? How do you give it? You dedicate time and you put discipline into what it is that you want to learn. You want to learn about yourself? Okay, start with dedicating 5 minutes. Every day you wake up, you start praying about where you're from. All of a sudden you get visions about the mountains. All of a sudden you get visions, you see that there's, you know, Colombia, the shape of the country, or whatever comes to you. And say you had no logical or tangible evidence of where you came from, or, you know, maybe you did, maybe you had 23andMe, but now you're exploring more. What is it going to take for you to believe yourself? What is it going to take for you to feel stable and safe for you to believe what's coming to you? I understand that society and the world and everything has been put in place as an obstacle to make you not believe yourself and not trust in yourself. But I'm here reminding you that you have every capability to do so. And that comes with dedicating and putting yourself first and being disciplined in that truth. Being disciplined in that truth. So, root chakra. Do things with your chest and mean it from your toes. Root down into the ground and know why you're doing what you're doing, and believe in yourself and find that security and stability in you. In you, and not in anyone else but you. So thank you for tuning in, everybody. Thank you for listening to Root Chakra episode of Dualitea. I hope you all have a beautiful day, and continuing to bring all of our worlds on the outside inward, and finding our balance, you know, finding our balance in everything that we do. So thank you.